I'm Luke. I work here at the library usually, but when I'm not, helping you find your next favorite book. I am an intersectional poet. I write queer stuff, I write black stuff, and I found that poetry really helps me sort of bridge the gap between who I am as a queer mixed race person and the world sort of as a whole, because sometimes it can be hard to do that in just normal words. So that's something I found really true with this first poem I'm going to read to you, which is called Being an Aromantic in Love, or A Stray Cat Owned. Watch out, I'm going to love you. I've chosen you like a stray cat chooses the kindest hand to touch it, chooses the one who takes the time to learn what food it likes, chooses the one who is patient enough to come when it is called. I might bite your hand, but you tell me you like that and allow me the time to dull my fangs, so watch out, I'm going to love you. Innocently confused owners have punished my purrs because they sounded more like growls, and now my throat has forgotten the feeling of the sound. But you delight in pulling out quiet meows and untrained yowls when you scratch my ears, so watch out, I'm going to love you. I'm going to love you like a stray cat who doesn't know how to love, but who will learn by a gentle, firm hand, who will regress to the wet alley kitten that spits and hisses and shies away, that watches from the distance with shining eyes, that approaches when you patiently stay. I will love you as I grow happy and fat, fed on the cream you chose for me, and as I go plush around my sharp limbs and curl in your lap in front of the TV. I will love you when sense, memory, or my loveless nature rear their heads. And when it happens that my back is arched, and my claws are out, or my teeth are sharp, or softness is hard to find, watch out. I'm going to love you with my mind. So, when I'm writing about love, I found rhythm and rhyme seem to come more naturally, as you might have felt in that one. And I think that's true of this next one too, which is about my current relationship, which is a long distance one with somebody who lives in Brazil. So it's a bit difficult, but I find that usually what bridges that gap is sending her photos of what I'm doing that day, how the sunrise looks, that sort of thing. This one's called Springtime Love. It's a desire set in the heart of me to share with you the things I see when I leave my house of a soft spring morning and burn my eyes in the blue sky shining, when I pace the line between park and road and smell the grass all freshly mowed. I'll take a photo and hope it will share just half the colours I can barely bear, because since I met you they've been much brighter, and the heart that holds you feels much lighter, and the eyes that see this sky, and the fingers that seek this rhyme, and the smile that traces my face tonight, and the tongue that trips on the syllables I write, and the trees that frame these clouds, and the light that bleeds through the lake, and these cracked pavement flowers that I've found, and everything in every picture I take. It's a desire set in the heart of me to share with you the things I see. When you creep into my heart with no warning and take my soul for your consuming, when you cross the line between dark and light and plot the course of my heart's flight. So I do write some poems that aren't about love, believe it or not, but they all sort of end up reflecting on sort of who I am, who other people are, and how we can, as I've already mentioned, cross that line. This one was about bird watching, but then it was about people. It's called Birdwatching. Here I sit at the window observing the quiet intelligence of the magpie. In a two-for-joy pair they explore the fresh-turned dirt of my neighbour's garden, the trod-down dead grass verge of the park, looking, I assume, for the perfect bedding, something soft and tossable and right, and not something that would better go to the starlings. Here I sit at my window observing the meticulous nests of the starling. Not in their flock, but still as friends they flit. The park is a fall away, a metre or so, and full with future furniture for their young ones, who they will nurture with crackling songs in the gutters above my window, who they will teach from a distance about the squirrel. Here I sit in my window as the morning fog burns off, observing the back and forth of the squirrel, who makes its home where it rests, observing the decided arcs of the seagulls curling towards seaside nests, observing the strides of the neighbour who clears his garden, preparing for the heart's labour of spring. Got a couple more for you. This one I think links quite happily with the Tower talk we just had, which this one is about the archiving of queerness and the fact that we're always a bit hidden in the corners. It's called If Archives Walls Can Talk. Of course they cannot. Too long they've been silenced, lips bitten red with secrecy, wrists encircled with metal for indecency. My darling is damnation of the highest order, so his hands rip him in 2, 4, 8, 16 bloody paper pieces. His heart must handle the tears. Decades pass. Your hands draw patterns in the dust underneath the bed of a man who loved another man. Your hands trace the scenes of long dead love letters. The tips of your fingers are sliced, but paper cuts are worth the reconstruction of a heart. We listen to the walls now. Your ear is up against wood and steel and paper and plastic, and a thrumming vein of digitized humanity pumps through the air and tells us, you were not meant to be there, not then. Oh, so unfortunate and mistimed, oh, so content to read between the lines. You were not meant to be there with plaster and brick and fire. We enacted your non-existence. But if not then, darling walls, if not there, then where? When? If you listen hard, there's a second voice. So long they've crawled through us like termites, like mice, living in the spaces no one dares to look for fear of the love they'll find. Lips kissed red with passion, wrists encircled with fingers for dear eternal dreams. My darling, we have always been loving in the walls. And I've got one last one for you. This one is a bit weirder than the others, I think. I wrote it when I was back in uni, when I was examining the sort of link between monsters and queerness, which I think has been written about a lot, but I can put some more in. This one is called Hoard. You, my hoard, sparkling and rare, I held you, and you, so bright, polished, so perfectly golden, like you, the prize piece of Midas's collection, but I could never let you go to someone like him, so selfish. I coiled my heavy tail around you, and I kept you warm and safe from all that's outside. I knew love when I looked into your soft, reflective surface, and I saw myself in your body, and I did not see my scales, but gentle brown skin that I had once had, and I did not see my sharp teeth, but a smile. I was once human, and you showed me that. I was beautiful. He was nothing much. He was a warrior, and he claimed to be here to liberate you, and I thought he was foolish. With the same breath that warned you, I turned to him, he turned to ash. You, my hoard, in the commotion, you fell from my grasp, my violent tail lashing out and striking you across the face. You marred a dark slash from one eye to the split of your lips, and you cried, but I begged you forgive me. I bowed my long neck to you, and your broken golden gaze. I looked up, and I could no longer see myself in you. Instead, you were crying dirty copper tears, and in their bulbous reflections, you showed me my claws and my teeth. I realized that you were not my mirror, and you were not my hoard, and you were no longer mine to hold, so I unfurled my tail and let you go. You can visit my website, queerdisagreeable.neocities.org, if you fancy. Thank you.